Hi Pisces, the Awakened Dreamer here to give you your weekly tarot reading for the week of January 3rd to the 9th, 2022. Thank you so much for joining me. And I want to remind you, as always, this is a general weekly read, so just take what resonates and don't stress over what doesn't, all right? But before we mention the song of the week, I want to remind you, as always, to stick with me till the very end of the reading in order to get a yes or no question answered, all right? To get the answer for your yes or no question. So just think of that along the way. And the song that Spirit chose for you for the week was Time Won't Let Me Go by the Bravery. Interesting. So I'll leave that in the description box below for you to listen to the song, look up the lyrics, however you want to go about it. But let's aim on down and pull some cards. Alrighty, let's begin by pulling the overall focus / energy for the week from the Divine Animals Oracle deck. Some initial shuffling. For my lovely Pisces for this upcoming week, the 3rd to the 9th of January, 2022. Oh, this one came out in, I want to say Libras. Ooh, an underlining focus on fierceness, alright? There could be a Gemini in your situation, or you could be finding, because this definitely came out in theirs, or you could be finding that you are just feeling a bit fierce within. For one reason or another, it doesn't have to be an aggressive kind of fierce, but it could be you more in touch with your fierce side. I just heard sassy. Okay, so we have Songlines Orca. A time to dream, a time to focus on what you dream of, where you drift to when you find yourself uncomfortable or wanting to escape. There's absolutely a situation, if not multiple, in your life at this time that don't feel perfect or ideal, and so therefore you drift mentally, or just even more so think about who you feel drawn to escape to when things feel stressful or less ideal. There's a lot to be learned, a lot to be gained as you move towards what feels more comfortable for you, okay? Let's go ahead and pull the main part of the reading from the Gilded Tarot Royale deck. We're going to pull 6 cards for the main part for my beautiful Pisces for this upcoming week. For Pisces. Wow, I caught that one with my arm. Alright, we have the first half. What else do we have? Things could be just a little overwhelming this week or feel a bit on edge. Just take a deep breath, you'll get through it. Alright, we have the second half. Someone's not making it super simplistic for you. With the Hermit card at the bottom of the deck, my alone time feels so peaceful, my alone time feels simplistic. There's a lot to be sorted out, to be thought through. It just feels like there's a level of conflict in your life at this time. You could even find, for some of you Pisces, that the level of conflict does take place within one's mind when you spend time alone. But then it's like, well, how do I escape all of the difficulties in life? You know, even those the feisty energies that you have to deal with, or the annoyingness of a work situation or a living situation. It just goes back to where you drift to. There's a lot to be learned as to where you desire to be, where you want to move, or what you want to experience moving forward. Okay. So we have the 7 of Swords to begin. Wow, the secrets that just roll around in your head, thinking back to the secrets that you've had up until this point, even being very secretive as to what your next step is or where you want to move to. I feel like that some of you Pisces, I almost said Scorpio, some of you Pisces are dealing with some spiritual activity that you're not willing to share. You don't want to be honest with those around you because they won't understand or won't believe you, or at least that's how you feel. Let's clarify. Have patience with the Temperance card. Have patience with what you're dealing with the secrets that you almost feel are surrounding you as well. And it's like if you And all the meanwhile, you're being put in the spotlight. People are noticing you at work, in your living situation, friends, family. People are just being a bit nosy all the meanwhile. And you being like, I can keep a level of secrecy if I so please. The Lovers. It feels as if a lot of people do want to get an update or find out what you're up to when it comes to your love life, or what you're moving towards to develop more love in your life. More situations that you enjoy, and you just wanting to sort of keep it on the down low because you haven't fully figured it all out. You don't even know if a situation will work out in the end. So why overcomplicate it by updating everybody and then having to re-update them if it doesn't, if it falls through? Does that make sense? Feeling very unsure at this point of the week, or just in general. Two of Cups. We connect, we understand each other. I just don't know why there's a level of misunderstanding between us at the same time. It's very complex and confusing. We feel so close, but yet so far. There's this one connection that will be put in the spotlight in the middle of the first half of the week where they view you as the King of Wands. This could be the other individual, but for the majority of you, I feel like you're being viewed as a very mature, royal almost, but very passionate individual. Someone who knows how to get what they want, or how to sort of bring in stability, or just how to complement when the time is right. What else do we have for this Two of Cups? The Nine of Cups, it feels like this is the person that you were viewing as a wish fulfillment. Your motivation when you're around them is quite apparent. They could even view you as a wish fulfillment. It could be both ways, but it just feels like when you're around them or you're talking to them, it could be who you escape to. That you are just alive. You feel more at ease and calm, but alive at the same time. And for someone to bring out both sides of you, or just to allow you to feel both ways, is so damn intriguing to you as a Pisces. You find it to be a very magical connection, but also just not one that's super simplistic. But then you asking yourself, well, shouldn't it be more simplistic? You'd find it boring if it was. You could find that they come off a bit stubborn at times. If you look at this imagery, they come off a bit grumpy, but you don't know everything that they're going through behind closed doors or within their own mind. Understand that they also don't know all that you're going through. So try to understand. Six of Cups. Making your way to wrap up the first half of the week. The memories pour in. You have no idea how to cope with them, to deal with them. It's just like some of which is like, I don't need to remember that chapter of my life. I've come so far. It's to remind you of what needs to change, or to help push you to think about what needs to be changed. You at times feeling like things are not ideal or not perfect, but also being pushed to a certain extent to remember at this point in the week that you have come so far and things could be 10 times worse, right? But it's also you just wanting things to change and develop and progress so badly that you don't want to settle for where you're at. So be it. But it's Spirit and the universe wanting to remind you to finish up the first half of the week. You're not going to backtrack. So why are you stressed about how quickly things are moving forward? Allow yourself to remember that there's a beauty in where you're at, even if it's not ideal, to think about what needs to be changed before you get to that beautiful point that feels more ideal, the more ideal situation or situations, right? It's at this point where you feel like you're pushed by Spirit and the universe almost purposely to drift to another world. It's like they're just trying to test you to see where you move to mentally and just emotionally, and then think about what needs to be changed in order to acquire something similar or more magical in that sense. Wow, let's clarify this one further. And it's all about you just thinking about how when you had a lack of justice, or just feeling like you do have that lack of justice, even lack of balance at this point, and feeling as if for some of you towards the end of the first half of the week, don't want to put in the necessary effort in a situation, whether it's work or whatever the case may be, feeling almost stubborn. This is now coming through as you with the Nine of Cups. Um, I'm just, I just don't want to put in the work. I'm good, or I just feel as if I am above what I'm doing at this point for one reason or another. But it feels like you're reminded that you are stressing yourself out while the wheel is churning. We have to remember that a lot is happening behind the scenes when it comes to spirit and the universe. All right? Nine of Wands. Beginning the second half of the week, there's not a lot left to give. Feeling quite burnt out, feeling stressed. But it's not just work. It's not just the situations that aren't ideal. There's a lot taking place in your life that people don't want to acknowledge, but you almost don't want them to acknowledge. It's like, let's keep this secret, right? You just feeling a bit burnt out and trying to put on a brave face, but then it's like, you're pushing my buttons at this point. There's somebody in your midst that's pushing your buttons, and they know they are, but it's like, I'm just ready to give birth to something new. I'm ready to embark upon a new journey, a new stage in my life in one way, shape, or form. But it's not the time for you to embark upon it in this burnt out, wounded warrior state of being. Will leave things feeling very messy in a lot of ways. So, out of respect for yourself in that new beginning, try to balance yourself out, clean things up a bit, figure out what you truly want before that comes to be. You might even change your mind as to whether or not that's perfect for you or a good fit for you between now and then. And you could consider that a blessing in disguise if that ends up being the case. Ten of Wands. To go from the 9 to the 10 of Wands, things are taking place step by step for you, okay? But in this case, it's taking a step towards feeling a lot heavier, more depleted. Let's clarify this before speaking upon it. Temperance. Patience is a virtue. Wow, as I bump my arm. Irritations. Things are feeling heavy, feeling quite messed with spiritually for some of you. Being aligned with the Two of Cups, how can I escape to this individual? Will this actually help to wrap myself up with them at this point? Feeling quite bruised by the issues you have in your life or just life itself. It's been a crazy roller coaster of a journey up until this point. Will things feel a lot easier moving forward? Right? With the Queen of Swords feeling a bit on edge, a bit feisty, willing to use that sword to cut people, places, and situations out, feeling at the end of your patience, the end of what you have to give when it comes to a job, a living situation. Maybe for some of you, it's even this connection, feeling like there are so many other pressures in the outside world, in your world, in their world, that get put onto the connection that it almost feels impossible to keep the magic alive, to keep the happiness alive, to make sure that this could work moving forward. Okay. But yeah, patience with yourself, those pressures, with everything that takes place, as it feels like the world is just swarming around the two of you. Okay. Or just around you at this point. The High Priestess. Finishing up the week, your spiritual connection is absolutely heightened. There's a bit of an angelic presence and way about you that may shock certain people, and you just feeling like, well, damn, you don't need to put more pressure on me. You don't need to put more pressure on the situation. You are viewing someone as the Ten of Wands towards the end of the week, and then you feeling light and airy and floating through the finishing parts of the week, and just feeling as if you're trying to show somebody that you don't need to be someone who stresses over every little thing in order to succeed, right? But you're also, there's part of you that is escaping to a different world in a different way towards the end of the week, towards a memory where things were once a little bit better, but something else wasn't ideal. It's you feeling like, okay, well, damn, nothing can ever be perfect, right? The Spirit's saying, well, I think you'd be bored of perfection. I think you would strive for more even in that case. With the Queen of Cups feeling a bit emotional, very much in touch with your feminine side at this point, thinking about somebody who left your life for whatever reason, aligned with the Six of Cups once again, and asking yourself, well, why do people come and go so often? And why do certain people who are unhealthy stick in such a concrete way? But is it more so that you're sticking with a situation that leaves them around you? Ask yourself these important questions, but in a simplistic way. Thinking a lot about your money, a fresh start you desire towards the end of the week, keeps coming up in your reading, Pisces, right? But it just feels like all the meanwhile, allowing yourself to figure out what you truly want, but just make sure you're focusing on the abundance all the meanwhile. And I think you'll finish up the week realizing there's a lot to be thankful for, even if things just need to be improved, adjusted, or worked on in a lot of ways. Okay? Sit back in your throne and manifest what you truly desire at this time. Let's pull a Moonology card to wrap this up. For Pisces, a time to give rather than to take. Thinking a lot about karma this week or being pushed to do just that. And communication is key. A lot of communicating this week. But what are you communicating with the universe? What do you truly desire in that sense? All right? But reminded all the meanwhile, prosperity lies ahead. Beautiful. So if you haven't already thought of a yes or no question, take a moment to do just that. All right, for Pisces. As it picks up speed, you can see the answer for your question is yes. Nice. All right, so I hope this reading was truly helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Go have yourself an amazing week, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Pisces.